I know it can be mesmerizing, but you're not gonna disrupt me at all. You know, taking, you know, wheel wedging. And because when you look at a lot of videos on YouTube, they don't do this, do they? They just start centering. It's the way I was taught, and it seems to work really well for me. And, you know, for beginners, I think getting some moisture into the clay and becoming familiar with it is a very good thing, instead of just jumping right onto it and trying to, you know, center the whole thing. A traditional Asian potter, you'll find that they do this.
Determine.
I feel it.
You feel it, okay.
Much more attentive to it being in center, because when you get to the top and you're shaping the seat for the lid and everything, if it's a little off, it makes it a lot harder to do that seat idea. Put your whole hand around it and try to do it all at once. Like this, the bottom can only be so wide, so you're going to have lots of step on the side.
Right.
If you're going to make something a little wider, then the bottom pushes out and the pressure on the side. But then when I let go, you have to be very careful to let go slowly. This seems to be where a lot of you have a little bit of problem.
Where we knock it off center.
And a lot of that has to do with the fact that you're putting so much pressure here that when you let go, so let go easy, gentle. Anna can attest to it. Has a very thin bottom. I'm perceiving it was going to demand a foot to make it more elegant. So Sue, you're always enthralled with this.
It does. It just slays me to watch that.
Okay, so I don't do this, although I encourage you guys to do this. I kind of use the balls of my fingers, you know, but for a beginner, when I say use this part of your finger, a lot of you end up doing this, and that's not good. So yeah, you know, try to do this, especially on those little bitty shapes that you guys have been working on. Like a pound of clay, this is all you need to do, okay? But, you know, like that. So I guess it's like my pressure is right there. Barb, you're breathing like I'm breathing. Well, it's like, you know, exhaling as you move up the side.
I would be so ecstatic at this point. I would just stop right here and say, that's it, I'm done. Wow, look at that.
Beautiful. I didn't wait too long to start the shape. You can kind of see where it's going to go.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But right up about here is where I'm leaving some clay, so I can turn it over and then put that seed in it. It is out of center a little bit. Look at that. Just a little.
So when I
it gets real big, and then I squeeze it back down into a shape. Now right here is where I'm going to start really pushing to get that lid.
It looks so easy when he does it. When we want to do it, it's
Mesmerizing.
Well, I'm also shaping it, Seema.
It's really pretty.
When he made the shape, he pushed.
It's a beautiful shape.
Yeah.
When we make it, we make a big mess.
Okay, I can't tell you how good the chamois is. What I'm going to do is I'm going to squeeze a little bit.
You squeeze down or squeeze up?
Is that side thick and the
Squeeze.
Down. Oh. I saw you open it. It's pressed down. That's good. And we'll use the thing. I'm not saying this is easy, but I think this is a very good idea. Just push it down a little bit, right?
Because I cut it off.
I think you corrected that. Oh, this one? That's good. I love the shape. It's so good.
It's just
I know, it's beautiful.
So, I'm
My son said, God send me.
Is that what
Teach
Tia
you
said?
how to do
Yes.
It's so professional.
I know. And patient.
or Sign of the Times, or
Wow, you opened it.
what clay I tried to make kind of narrow.
Right.
Okay, so that's so I can get underneath of it like this and pull it out to thin it.
So you have in mind what you want to do.
Well,
It's
yeah,
gonna
this-
make the lid.
Yeah, but we,
To think very much about, oh, I want to make a jar this time, or I'm going to make. So literally, I'm forcing a ball of clay up in the middle.
Sam is so surprised with what's happening there.
Having something to cut off is good. Okay, because that's what you want to be able to do. Having something to cut off is good. Okay, because that's what you want to be able to do. And I'm not going to touch the middle again. So I'm going to now.
Okay, he's cutting it out. Yeah, because I saw that there was another one.
And I saw your Mona Lisa, but there were so many beautiful paintings. I said, why Mona Lisa has attracted so much attention, There must be something about that painting. They're beautiful paintings.
There is a painting right across from. Just a little bit more heavy duty.
Okay.
It's just a.
So how did you know how much to cut from there?
Well, I
You
measured.
measured it, yes.
See, I measured, and I looked at it.
The thickness of the corners are okay?
No,
Nothing-
they're a little thick. Is something beautiful? Is something ugly beautiful? Is something beautiful ugly? Is criticism? Does criticism have of value. You know, you always hear about art critics and art. It does not matter one bit how thin the bottom is, because I'm not even going to use the bottom. So even if you go all the way to the bottom, it doesn't matter here. We're more interested in the outside cone shape that's going to be part of that shape.
It's not like that.
Oh, and there's some gouges here.
The teapot.
Well, the gouges are mine. I can cut around those, but somebody put their finger in it. I can cut around those, but somebody put their finger in it. A lot of you keep saying, I keep making bowls. Okay? Not just you, Seema. It's not just you.
All of us.
Okay, that's the way you change everything, is right there. Like on that one, what was that? Did you notice that it was out,
And then in.
then in?
She wants to make a funny shape.
So Seema, even though I scream at you, what happens is the clay starts coming in and it starts globbing together.
Yeah.
Okay? So you have to then, in fact, Linda, because it's not thick down there,
What are you doing with your finger?
I'm pulling up.
Putting it up.
Mm-hmm.
You're thinning it out.
Mm-hmm. Some shape. And so you can
The bottom has a hole underneath, or no?
It doesn't
It's
matter.
just-
It doesn't matter at this point,
'cause you're gonna
because I'm
put
going to
the
cut it
hole.
up. See how thick the clay is? So I'm always wanting to, keep thinning that down to make for a good pour. Going to kind of guess at it. And try to draw a line. That kind of mimics the side of the pot.
That's nice, thank you. Yeah. That was made to be able to avoid something.
you don't cut enough of an angle. I've seen a lot of
And yesterday,
No,
That's an angle, huh?
so it'll make it easier
Just to feed.
to stick on there.
The whole you want. That's the whole. I would say this is the needle too.
Nope, very soft. And they're very cheap.
Because of what?
But you can see how many times
Yeah.
I gum it up pretty good. Is so the whole thing will kind of, mesh, move together. How, keeping your clay at a certain, moisture content is always so helpful. And that's what makes working with clay easy a lot of times, is just the fact that you're watching the clay, the moisture content and how it's going to stick together and everything like that. Now, something that I always have trouble with is this little area right here, because it kind of pokes out like that. So I usually go back in and kind of carve it down. Okay. So it blends, more of a surface thing.